Hello all, welcome to my session. So today we are going to cover the services which are part of AngularJS. So services are just provided in AngularJS to make it easy to call, for example, HTTP services or REST services, or do some manipulations like utility classes in Java that can provide a services to the component, and they can easily be injectable into the components for further use. So for creating the services, you have to use ng generate service and then a service name command. So it will create the two TypeScript files. One is you can see that in test services, if you see that one is test services.ts and another one is that test services.service.spec.ts. So one is the service file which is having all the business logic, and another one is the test file for testing that. And when you will create a service, you can see that injectable is as a decorator that would be used by the dependency injection mechanism of AngularJS. So this service would be available for the components when the root got loaded. So if you see that provided in a colon root, that means that when the root module would get loaded, this all the dependencies will get injected and will be available. So we'll see that how it can be used practically. So I'm just going to the Visual Studio. Okay, so I'm just starting it, Visual Studio. Okay, so for in Visual Studio, if you see into the projects, I've created one project, that new service app, and that we are going to use for our demo. Okay, inside that I will just simply create generate service. Okay, ng generate service test service. Okay, so it is creating, it will create the service inside this application, inside the app folder. As I mentioned, it will create the two files having the name as test service.ts, and then another one is as I mentioned, the specification files which would be having the details about the testing. So you can see that how we can easily test the application in that. So once it is created, it will be having the at injectable as decorator, that will see one this file is got created. Okay, so this files got created inside this. So if you see, it is having the decorator, and provide in root means that when the root model get loaded, all this it will be injected. So inside the service, we'll just write one method print, and inside that we'll simply write console.log. For example, if you want to call any web service, you can just write, give a call that calling a web service kind of. So I'm just putting it just a log line, but actually you with HTTP models you can call that. We'll see it in the next sessions how it can be done. So this service would be having the print as a method. So if I want to use it into my component, then how we can use into the component, go to the constructor, declare the private test colon, if you type a test service. Okay, if you see, it got imported here for us. Okay, and then you can use it. So I'm just typing this dot test dot print. Okay, and once it is done, that means you can able to use the function of that service. And for doing that, you can easily uh, use a command like ngser open. So you can see that the how the app is got compiled with this service, and how the dependencies get easily injected into the um, this application. And then once this application will get loaded, compiled, then we can be easily able to see into the browser. And then this component would get loaded as this HTML. which is the Angular HTML, and along with that HTML, while loading it into the browser, it will also give a call to this constructor that will just call this service. First, it will just see that whether the root module has instantiated that service, and if that service is already instantiated, then it will get that instance here, which is available across the application, and then um, it will just call the print method. So from here, even you can go to the print method, and this calling web service would get printed. Okay, so if you want to add anything into this service, you can add a more methods. For example, get employee data. Okay, and then inside that, if you want, you can even write more things that can be used by your application for accessing some of the data or some other kind of stuff using HTTP, or you can also do some calculations here as well inside this service. So if you see, the application is got loaded, it is having some compilation issue here, so I'm just deleting it, this extra method. I'm just saving it. So it is just compiling it once again. So cannot find the module test service dot service. Okay, I'm just going here and I'm just deleting it. This is the extra import I had added earlier. So the component got successfully compiled, and if I refresh it with the inspect element, you can see into the console, it will just print the message like calling a web service, if you see that. Okay, so that means it has called this print method, and it got word for us. So this is how you can use the services into the AngularJS. So you can add extra services, you can add a logic in that with the extra method. So that's how the services can be used. So thank you so much for listening my video. Do subscribe to my channel, click on a bell icon for getting the updates onto the latest video. Thank you so much.